Good afternoon, everybody. Love with thrill. That is what the name Thrillophilia means. And what we do, we simplify activity travel. So when I say activity, an activity could be a hardcore adventure program, could be a week-long trek in Ladakh, could be a river rafting in Rishikesh, it could be camel safari in Rajasthan, it could be a wildlife safari, it could also be a soft adventure or a cultural tour like palatial dining, for example, spice plantation tour in Kerala, a cycling trip in Munnar, a half-a-day cycling trip in Munnar. Now the first question that comes is, do we have a market for activity travel in India? Let's look at a few numbers. The market for global adventure travel is $142 billion. The market for Indian adventure travel is $2 billion. Look at the numbers in the US. Their activity travel market is more than double the size of their package tours market. There is no big player in activity travel in India today. A few years back, Make My Trip came and organized the highly unorganized flight market. Red Bus came and organized the highly scattered and unprofessional bus service market. Sooner or later, somebody will come and organize the completely scattered activity travel market. In a nutshell, if we don't grab the opportunity, somebody else will grab it. Now what's the problem? Let's quickly take a look at the problem. He's Mr. John. He's just finished booking his trips to India, and now he's searching the internet to figure out what does he do for that 1 week in, let's say he's planned to go to Himalayas. So he searches, he lands on a couple of websites, but he doesn't get organized information. He's not able to decide what to do. Scattered information is there. Moreover, he has to travel the complete amount of his trip before reaching India. 100% transfer to India. How does he do that? What he does is, he transfers 2x, he pays 2x for that trip to responsibletravel.com because he trusts them much more than a shady website. Let's take another scenario. There's a gang of friends sitting out in Bangalore who want to go for a long weekend and do some activities. Where will they go and search 300 kilometers from Bangalore, what are the possible activities I can do? How do they search? They have to come to Thrillophilia.com. How do we solve this problem? We have organized activity options for people when they are planning. We have unique local experiences for them when they're traveling. And this generates more business for the hosts. And how do we actually do it? We curate the service providers. And by curation, I don't mean sitting on the web, searching the service providers, reading their reviews, talking to them over phone. What I mean is, I have an in-house travel team which will travel to these destinations. Day by day experience the itinerary, place by place experience the whole trip, check the service qualities, inspect the equipments, and when a service provider complies by our service standards, that is when we get into a service level agreement with them. So it is this curation which stands to be our USP. So if today we have 300 offbeat activity trips across India, these are 300 curated programs. For the user, by bringing in technology, the search is becoming very simple, which the scattered information is completely organized now. Booking becomes a simple 2-click process. Another thing is, we are building an activity community online. Today, let's say for an international person who wants to go for a trek or a program, where will he find reviews? How does he trust one provider and does not trust the other one? There is no mechanism of trust and credibility here. We are trying to build a community where people can come and talk about these experiences, where they can rate these trips, and that's how comes credibility to the whole thing. That is the biggest impact that it's going to have. That is, it will increase the credibility and review mechanism. There will be a growth of locals and culture. It will promote socially responsible travel. And the most important thing, since we are covering the whole of India, it positions India on the global map for activity travel. What is the advantage of Thrillophilia other than the USP, which is the curation? With 30,000 fans on Facebook, 10,000 newsletter subscribers, more than 9,000 followers on Twitter, top rankings for a lot of keywords on Google, we drive 1 lakh unique visitors to the website every month. So we are using our digital presence. We have a wide customer base already. We've served 250 corporate companies and we've served 20,000 travelers. With this, the team has hands-on domain knowledge on the subject, and we have tied up with more than 150 partners across the country. With respect to sales and marketing, most of it is happening through the digital medium, SEO and SMO. Community building is what we are focusing on now. Affiliation enterprise sales is some part of it. In the team, we have Abhishek, who's completed his Bachelor's of Technology from IIT Varanasi. He's worked with Cisco for 4 years before that. His strengths lie in digital media, online and product. I'm Chitra. I did my PGP from ISB Hyderabad, major in leadership and strategy, worked with SAP before that. I take care of execution, people management and organization, sales and customer relationship. We have Arun, who heads outdoor. He has all the necessary certifications for the same. And we did receive a small amount of angel funding last year from Dr. Mahendra Mehta. Small amount at a very good valuation of $1 million. We've been growing year on year to 50%, more than 250% from the last 2 years. Couple of media achievements that we've had. We've been the winners at the TIE ISB BizQuest Connect. We've been the winners at Power of Ideas and at PAR, featured in some news channels also. Before I close, the 5 competitive advantages. We would be the first to market. Currently positive cash flows. Served more than 20,000 travelers and 250 corporates. 360-degree working model. And a very strong digital presence. Thank you. Any questions?
Again and again we ask the same question because of the charter of death. How do you guys actually contributing to the society because of your digital presence?
There are 2 parts to it. On one side, as I told you, the problem lies in the scatteredness of the information because it is not scattered. By organizing all this information, today it is actually possible for you to go to the website and say 300 kilometers from Bangalore, I want to do this activity. You will get it. So that is how the customer directly is getting benefited on one side. The other side, by bringing in credibility in the whole system with the reviews and the whole program, it is much easier for an international traveler to decide where to go. By having the complete portfolio of adventure possible in India in one portal with so much credibility, we are positioning India on the global map.
Let me clarify that. It's not benefiting the potential customers or the customers. The purpose of awarding digital platforms through DEF is to emphasize the fact that your initiatives have contributed to the local people or the communities or people who are not having access to these things otherwise. So it's not obviously your business model will have an intent to serve your customers.
As I started my answer, there are 2 sides to it. What I spoke about was the customer side. The other side is the supplier side. All our suppliers are small local guys who sit out in cities where they don't have access to internet, where they don't know what technology is, and they don't reach out to customers in the right way. Right? So they are getting a lot of business through us, especially the international travelers. They have no ways to reach out to them because there are 100 guys in Rishikesh who have valid licenses of travel action. How do they reach out? So that is what we are adding to it.
How do you work in some international tourists who would like to have, for example, all the Buddhist places of not only India, also India also. In such a mode, how do you cater? I mean, information. How do you customize your website to give that knowledge to him? And how do you serve? Your presence everywhere, or you also serve in?
See, first thing is we serve only in India. We don't serve outside India right now. In India, we have certain regions of operations where we have these identified and verified local service providers whom we trust and we have SLAs with. So we work with only those people.
Some guy in Sikkim, you have,
That's the whole curation model about, that I have a travel team which will travel, verify, identify, and then get into an SLA with somebody before giving him business.
I also have a similar startup. It's in the initial stages. It's more of photography plus travel rather than the trip. The problem I've been facing is, again, the curation is really important. only upon actual curation, and you can't just add people like that. But it really slows down the scale-up process. Basically, you have to talk to every single person, you have to convince them, you have to explain the benefits every time. So how are you dealing with that?
It is a slow process, it takes time. Curation is maximum time taking, maximum effort taking, but then if that is our USP, there is no way out. I cannot eliminate that, I cannot shorten it, I cannot compromise on that. So if it takes time, it takes time. If it takes more manpower, it takes more manpower.
And are you planning to, how are you basically planning to scale up from this? I'm sure that 20,000 is a big number, but to attain a big level, you must...
At the stage where we are, a regular growth is going to happen, but if we really want to scale up very fast, we're looking at funds. If we get the funds, we'll scale up the team first, the team to travel more, the team to sell more, because we have enough leads incoming already. We can pump in more money into marketing and get more leads also. So the stage we are already sustainable, we're already profitable. Now, how much we scale up just depends on how much we put in.
So what will be the same model of curation and going to every single person?
Without curation, there is no USP in this. Then I'm like any other service provider. My brand is at risk. What happens in Ladakh, I don't know. What happens in Himachal, I don't know. So, and if I start operating, then it's a tour operator thing. I cannot cover all of India.
You have an insurance company for this?
We've pondered on that topic quite a lot. We give our customers an option that if you want to buy insurance, you can. That option is always given to them, but we don't buy it for them. So then we give them the option that these are the companies, why don't you take travel insurance from them?
Yeah, we are running out of time, so we'll move forward. Thank you very much.